You've got Weircraft up there.
Good evening, and welcome to SuperCars NZ round 3 of the HPR series. This is Doug, and I'm joined in the broadcasting lounge tonight by one Corey Kitchen and one Ben McMurray. How we doing, lads?
Yeah, good Dougie.
Very
And
good.
could be better here, but technical difficulties have forced me up into here.
Yes. So we've heard.
Oh, still a good race, hopefully, and don't have all that stress of actually racing.
Yeah, it looks like we've got nine GTP cars and 17, maybe 18 GT3 cars tonight.
Yeah, we've got there's a couple out there looking at the potential of nine of the GTP cars. They're maybe missing one or two of those, and then from about positions 10 down, we've got our the rest of those guys. So looking at probably about 18, maybe 17 GT3 cars. So this should be a pretty good fun bit of racing. The cars just getting ready to finish populating the grid, and then they'll be commencing their away lap behind the safety car. What we have tonight is a brand new track to iRacing. And we are at Portamio. Who'd like to give us a rundown of Portamio and a bit of an insight for the people at home who want to know the goss? Who's got the goss?
In Portuguese too, please, Ben.
Oh, we'll do the fun facts later, but we're at the Circuit de Algarve International Circuit. That was, ignore the Circuit D bit, or as it's better known by most people, Portimao. This is predominantly a MotoGP circuit, and it does hold the 6 hours of Portimao. We are doing the 6 hours of Portimao, but the 6 hours is now, I think it's 40 minutes tonight, but are we about to go green here? Oh no, we're not.
Yep, so the GTP cars have just pulled away, and the GT3 cars just giving a wee bit of a time margin back from them. So that's all we've got happening there.
Yeah, and it was built early 2000s, but really cool sweeping circuit, about 4.6 kilometers, 2.9 miles for those watching overseas. And then we got 15 turns, all of which it's known as the roller coaster, but all in a good way. And we'll leave some more fun facts for later, and I think we'll run through the grid order.
We are. So currently in P1 of the GTPs is Jacob Lucas, then Stefan McCartain. Taylor Mitchell holds third over Scott McKenzie, Jack Hintz and Michael van der Haas 5 and 6, and Grant Bristow taking out P7. And then back to our GT3 grid, we've got Mackenzie Stewart up there, rolling up from P1, Ryan Cottrell, Nathan Gardner, Sean McNamara, Callan Hodgkinson, Nico Cordier, Aidan Lamont, Matt Gerard and Christian Jenkins. Randall Lupini and Wayne Hartnell make up our top 10 of the GT3s, of the GT3 series. So
You're rounding out the grids of Richard Saunders, Dan Turner, Thomas McCall and Logan Spans. So there are 23 cars on the grid tonight. And I'll let you guys know if I hear from Cheryl, if there's any incoming weather information.
Nice. So the guys had to put up with a wee bit of a interesting qualifying session. It looks like, from what you can report already from Cheryl at the moment, is we shouldn't be expecting any rain during the main event. Is that correct?
Well, currently there is a bit of crappy weather off to the east, and it is blowing this way, and it's saying around about 3:15 there is a chance of rain it could be happening from then. So that's just under an hour, so we might be all right.
Yeah, so it was expected there might be some rain towards the end of the race. But the drivers had to put up with a bit of a wet track during qualifying. It wasn't raining, even though some would say there was a few drops now and again. I still claim that was a rain splatter, from water spray coming off the back of other cars. But yeah, a bit of a wet track dynamic for during qualifying. So a few people in some different positions from where they probably might have been normally. But look like we've got the lights out on the Porsche safety car as we come around the last couple of corners before coming back up to the straightaway. Expect him to peel off very shortly.
Yeah, we'll aggressively hang to the right about now.
Well, it's actually quite a nice blend. Usually, the Porsche tries to jump through the tyres.
Yeah, well, if it was the truck, it would have been just a hard, just hook it right, and they're underway.
Yeah.
Good start from Stefan McCartney. He's got the jump over Jacob Lucas.
Got McKenzie tucking in behind. Can't do there.
So Scott McKenzie just dropping one position early on to Taylor Mitchell. Taylor moving himself up into third. The guys at the front having a really good battle there.
Oh, the GT3s, they're just running too wide everywhere.
Yes, I don't know if these guys know that the green flags have actually dropped. But yeah, 2x2 most of the way round as we actually see Sean McNamara moving up quite a few spots there early on into spot number 3. Tight battles down into the braking point.
Yeah, it looks like Nathan Gardner must have had a really good start. He's up 4 positions from starting from 4th up to 1st in GT3 class. So it's a great start from him. The crisscross racing Audi.
Yeah, I think some of those numbers are just a wee bit reflective of a couple of guys from the GTP who didn't start, but he would have at least made one position, I believe, just one over Mackenzie Stewart there. So probably just the one for him, as he still has battles with his computer.
I see. Yeah, there was two GTPs didn't start. Steve Darren and Leaf Swinney. So yeah, there'll be 2 other positions there for him.
Yeah, Aidan Lamont having a big off and rejoining the track halfway round, so he probably picked up quite a significant bit of flag there for cutting across that track.
Right down the hill now onto the main straight. They'll be looking to get up on the rear wing as the GTPs already into about turn 3 there.
Stefan
McCartney might be a bit vulnerable here.
He was.
Looks like
Lucas. Looks a bit squirrely. The track may still be a little bit damp from qualifying. Gosh, those guys are pretty much inside each other.
3 wide almost.
Wow, what an absolute hooner. Taylor Mitchell moving up into spot number 1.
Oh, they've made contact, and there Stefan McCartney goes round, and then Jacob Lucas gives him a tag. So that's looking good for Taylor. He's going to have a bit of a gap there now.
So, yeah, Taylor Mitchell over Jacob Lucas by a couple of seconds, and Michael Vanderhaas, I was going to say moving up into spot number 3, but he's gone and had a blue and run wide. That's allowed Jack Hintz, who had a great race last week, finishing up on the pole, has already moved up into 3rd spot there as well. So cautious and tender at the moment looks to be the winner, but it was nothing cautious and tender about the way Stefan McCartney and Jacob Lucas were battling out there just before.
We've had 3 cars go through the pits already, so they're at the back end of the GT3 class. Probably maybe for some safety repair, some fast repairs.
Yeah, so there is that, and also once again we've got pretty tight guidelines on driving standards as well. So the 15 incident points before you can get a drive through, and I think then we're at a total of 35 points. Will get you a DQ from the race. So I'll
be keeping an eye on the incident points tonight. I can tell you right now that unlike last week in the first sort of 10 minutes of the race, everybody's under double digits.
Nice.
We've got Ryan Cotterill running on a black flag currently, so it might have been just a slowdown.
One of the most obvious or common overtaking points there. Normally in single seaters you have wee DRS down there, but you do have to be careful, especially in the GTPs, not to lock your front brakes there, and you can quite easily go too deep. So it's quite a good place, and you can always get them back coming up the hill for the next part there, as the BMW did just there.
Wow, that's just blown my mind, jumping on the inside of that car there. I didn't think these cars would be doing close to 300 odd kilometres an hour, but here we go. Stefan McCartain, 300 and about 12 into the braking point, and just having the rears go again on him. So those tyres will be well and truly hurting. See a wee bit of water spray getting kicked up off the back there, off the back of Grant Bristow's GTP, so there is still a few wet patches out there on track.
It's going back to your top speeds there, Doug. So, yeah, GTPs look to be getting to about 307, whereas the fastest in the GT3 class looks to be 271. So a wee bit of a difference there.
So, yeah, so at the moment, top speed on that previous lap looks like it went to Jack Hintz at 310. Not much more else in that.
Well, I'm getting Chris Sawalski. Speaking of Chris Sawalski, Racecrafts, 382.
383, that's a heck of a tow.
Yeah, Chris from Racecrafts NZ, this week's weekly sponsor.
It is, I suppose, a good time for a shout out for him. So if you're wanting the hot product, and obviously the one that gives you the extra 120 kilometre edge over your competition, check out racecrafts.co.nz. He's got the push to pass button, as Ben was talking about before, for the DRS zones.
Yeah, pretty much double your speed. Yeah, so New Zealand owned and operated, one-stop shop for all sim racing and sim products. All button boxes are designed and crafted in New Zealand by their own Auckland-based team.
There you go.
And some pretty cool button boxes, and even some little mods he's got on there, like you can get make a sequential shifter out of your Logitech 6-speed. He offers extended shifter pedal shifts, and for all kinds of stuff. It's pretty much, I reckon if you want him to make it, I reckon he probably could.
100%.
And it's always
very well priced there. You can get a button box, very good bits kit for around the $100 mark or sometimes less. So really good bits kit.
Yeah, he's got a couple of good specials on there. I see a decent looking button box there for $69.99.
And how good does the inside of these Porsche 992 sound? As we catch Chris Zalewski there putting the push to pass on Tom McCall. Just drawing up alongside him now, moving into a new position, hitting that braking point, flying through really nicely. Great pass. Sean McNamara here, Mr. Plough, under a bit of strain and stress from Matt Gerard behind him. There's a cool bit of work being done on that livery. As you can see, the track map mirrored there across the rear bumper. And Matt Gerard has Nico Cordia behind him as well. And Nico saying last week that he'd be looking forward to purchasing this track and getting some laps in. That was after he finished, I believe, P3 in the GT3 race. So sitting back there in P6 at the moment, certainly not out of contention at all, and doing a mighty fine job. Just a bit of credit also, just talking about with Sean earlier, who's having a good time battling there. This is his first ever time circulating laps around this track. Literally bought the track on iRacing this evening, and qualified and put the car in P6, I believe it was. And he's out there absolutely battling it, doing a mighty fine job.
Logan Spans has had himself a bit of a mischief and has towed back to pit lane.
I saw that pop up on the data sheet. I was just interested to see whether or not we were going to catch a live blue in the moment as Nico and Matt battle it out behind Sean McNamara there. I think
Might be an SCK gaming replay on that one.
We have got one of those coming up to you now. So I believe that was Mackenzie going by Logan there. Oh, just
the old Ferrari twist.
Yeah, and I've been there for a few of those myself.
I've had a couple of dropouts, so Stefan McCartan is disconnected. Logan Spans is disconnected as well.
Oh, okay, yep. So Logan's been having a few issues. The one about Stefan's, obviously he was looks like he might have jumped through to pit lane as well, just battling with the feel in the GTP.
Well, you like it now.
Nathan Gardner coming into the pits. Pit stops for tonight. The cars have to do a minimum of one stop and take a minimum of 2 tyres. So they've got the one compulsory pit stop, minimum of 2 tyres, and that's them set for the night. So there might have been a few guys starting on a dry set of tyres. On a wet set of tyres, and now taking the opportunity to come in now that they're probably falling off a wee bit as the track's dried out. Go and throw on a full set of dries, which, looking at Nathan Gardner's time of 22.7 seconds, would indicate pretty heavily that he's gone for all 4. So Nathan coming out just behind Thomas McCall by a couple of seconds there, and we'll keep an eye on the rest of those guys as they come through to probably do their stop shortly as well. Taylor Mitchell out in front, absolutely cleaning up the gap margin at the moment over Jacob Lucas. Jacob Lucas obviously being the driver who's had the previous 2 weeks win in the GTP series. Taylor having a bit of an unfortunate race last week at Sebring. Wet conditions not favouring really anyone, to be fair. And looked like he'd crossed the line in P2, but had some drama with exceeding some incident points and getting a drive-through penalty. So when he crossed the finish line, it gave him a point penalty, so he lost out that to Jack Hintz there in the end. So Taylor moving back here, you can see that gap margin moved down just a little bit to Jacob, so down to 5.6 seconds there now, and then quite a significant gap back to Jack Hintz, probably being held up a wee bit as it coming through this GT3 field.
Yeah, so it didn't take them long, the GTPs to catch up, so we're on lap 9, and they're already getting around these GT3 cars, so it just shows the difference in speed between the two classes, and it's having to take some of the drivers are going to have to be a little bit more cautious of the faster cars coming up too.
Wow.
Just watched that live myself.
Yeah. As I just quickly tune back into where the big,
Alright, mate.
where the biggest part of the battle is taking place tonight, and it's still being taken place here between with Sean McNamara, Nico Cordia, and Matt Gerard.
If I don't turn out of that, we're both spinning out there to learn how to pass.
Bit of driver chat happening there in the background. I've kept that one on for tonight. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us in the backside on the stream.
Can't actually hear that though, Doug.
Hey,
What,
you two have a bitch fest afterwards, please.
what we can see though is Sean McNamara has dropped out 2 positions, allowing Matt Gerard to go by and Nico Cordia for that one, and Matt now just stretching his legs a little bit.
He might be under a little bit of pressure from Kristen Jenkins now too, who has been very sharp since his return. I think we've mentioned a few times.
Yeah, indeed. So just on the front of the nose here with Kristen now, and he's got the absolute boogie on, and he'll be making a late break dive into this corner here, which is actually quite tight. Sean doing a great job running around the outside of that corner to stay along beside him. Not prepared to give it up that easy just yet. Like Sean might have just had the inside line for that one, but just got the nose here trimmed. And speaking of nose hairs, you can see the big mo on the front of Kristen's car. He's now got Scott McKenzie, who's the last of the GTP cars, rounded him up. Mackenzie Stewart with a 14-second gap over Callan
Thanks, mate.
Hodgkinson, sorry.
Thanks, Nico. Copy.
So it's pretty evident to see who the fast drivers are in both fields.
Yeah, so what's the average? Because we did mention the GTP's lapping about lap, was it lap 9 already lapping the other field, but what's the difference in lap time? And who's setting the fastest laps at the moment?
Yeah, cool. So Corey can probably confer. He's got the same data that I do.
Yeah. So it's looks to be around about 12 seconds a lap difference between Mackenzie Stewart, Taylor Mitchell. So Taylor Mitchell's running around. His last lap was a 1:32. Mackenzie Stewart's last lap was a 1:44. So, and his fastest lap was a 1:44 as well. Whereas Taylor's was a 1:31. In practice, he did do a 1:30. Probably on a lighter fuel load than he's got on there for race pace.
So I'll just whip those times up on screen beside those cars there now.
Thanks, Thomas.
So while Ben breaks out the calculator and works out what lap the GTP cars will be next cycling through the through the lead cars.
I think we'll go for a guess of about, it was lap 9, so I think we'll go lap 17. Maybe.
All right, lap 16.
So it looks like Taylor Mitchell has just gone by Nathan Gardner, and he's down in total position P19, or about position 12 of the GT3 cars. He's rounded up Chris Zalewski. There, Taylor Mitchell. So we'll see how quickly he can go through and find the next car.
It'll be Wayne Hartnell will be the next one on his list, I think.
Oh, that's a bit of a shot, isn't it? That gives you that gives you the driver's eye view. Everyone love those long arms. I know Corey does.
It makes me cringe every time. That there looks a lot better, Doug.
Yep.
Nice clear view of the mirror there in top two if you had somebody behind him.
Yeah, if only
But he's,
the car behind wasn't 6.3 seconds behind him, eh?
No, well, there's a song about it. He's out there, he's all by himself.
All I can say is it's absolutely just these cars rampaging around this track. It's good to see how quick they go, and if you can actually see it, you can actually spot the gloved man's fingertips flicking up and down on the paddles, changing gears. You see how quickly they happen. Bit of understeer coming into there, pretty deep. Not bad to be doing about 135 kilometres an hour in first gear.
And there goes Wayne Hartnell.
And that's what about a minute 32 lap looks like. There you go, a minute 32.3 around here at Portamio. That's
from one of the few
blistering.
professional. I was going to say professional there. One of the few racing drivers actually in the field. He might be the only one, if I stand corrected there. Racing in the BMW Spec Series up north.
Yep.
Where's
So we're talking about Taylor Mitchell here, of course.
one of the BMW 3 Series? I will get the generation wrong, so I'm just going to go for a guess and say E40 or E36. But
Yeah, it's one of those.
I believe it might be it's one of those.
I'm sure Nick's watching. He'll let us know.
Yeah. So yeah, this battle still unfolding here between Matt Gerard and Nico Cordia. Matt's sitting in what is respectively P3 in the GT3 field at the moment, and Nico is less than half a second away off his rear bumper.
Yep, Scott. I'm definitely the field of view, please. There's a couple of comments on the old tube, quite a few from Scott. Send it, call the yellow, spice it up. Yes, we can hear it. Fair enough too. Race control and then field of view, please, there from Scotty. Stephen McCartan, I won't read that out, but he's left after getting some damage before the race. Unlucky Stefan.
At the start of the race, whilst while circulating under that behind the safety car.
It's all speculation.
Right. Oh, yep. Oh, the good thing is speculation can always be looked at afterwards and reported to our driver standards committee. The drivers have the ability to fill out driver complaints and protests and supply footage of what's been going on, and we can look back and deem appropriate punishments or penalty points for drivers. So if there was anything like that that was untoward, I'm sure Stefan will send it through.
Yeah, no, we'll might have to start up fines, I reckon. You know, that might calm some people down.
Well, either
$100 fine for if you're caught doing something silly.
Yeah.
Put it in the social club account.
That's oh, there you go. So just getting a little bit distracted there as Taylor Mitchell's gone by P3 Matt Gerard. What lap did you say these guys were going to be coming back by the leaders?
I said lap 16.
There you go.
Bit far off, both of us.
I nailed it, thanks.
15 actually.
Well, it clicked over when he passed him, it clicked over to lap 16, so I'm going to take that one and run.
It did. So Kellen Hodgkinson, I'm always going to say that wrong, and I do apologise, managed to actually get by Mackenzie Stewart, and I believe that's because he had a wee off moment. So I'll just go back and have a quick look at what happened there. So that didn't actually catch the moment of what happened to Mackenzie. So let's have a look at what caused Mackenzie to fall off. Just lose the rear under turn in a wee bit. You can see them fighting. Oh, yep.
Oh.
Keep it off the wall. He did.
Yeah. Sorted out iRacing. That's terrible. But thanks iRacing for giving us this platform.
Pretty lucky to sort of crash where he did without picking up damage. And
Yeah, one thing I noticed about this track was a lot of those corners have quite a bit of sand and quite a bit of runoff before they actually get to a wall. It'd be good for the panels. How about our movers and shakers tonight there, Dougie?
Can indeed. Sorry, I was listening a little bit to the guys having a chat in the background. There were a few drivers were getting a wee bit worried as to what was happening with pit lane entry during the qualifying. It said they were picking up black flags as such, but I believe that comes down to the qualifying scrutiny on how tough or how lenient the management of the races, and we've pumped that up this season to a moderate, which means that in the past drivers have been able to come in during qualifying after running a few litres of gas out of the car and throw in a fresh set of tyres, and then go out and put a quicker lap down. Unfortunately, they won't be able to do that now without escaping out of their car, which essentially resets it back to what they drove out with, which means a full complement of gas, but they do get the fresh tyres. Just means that no one person can benefit from running the fuel down and putting on a fresh set of tyres and getting an edge over doing a faster time that way. So really making it easier for these the guys this season, aren't we?
Yes, Doug, you do make it very easy for them.
Last week, just making a quick mention of it, one of our GTP drivers won a very cool hoodie by Wearcraft, and not saying it's limited to just him. If anyone else is after one of those, that runs in the GTP GT3 series. It's called the Slippery When Wet hoodie. And it says, I survived the new MRP HPR series, and it's got all the tracks that have been run from this season on it. So if you are interested in one of those, hit us up, and we can get a cost for one of those through to you. It doesn't even have to be for one of the drivers. It can just be a fan of the new HPR series.
Jacob Lucas, the first of the GTP cars to come through the pit lane and take his minimum of 2 tyres and maybe a bit of fuel. So we'll see how that plays out for him when Taylor comes into the pits. I didn't see what the gap was between the two of them.
Before he came into the pits?
Yeah.
I
there was
believe. It was a good thing I stayed on him.
It's a good save.
Those fresh tyres, just managing to find something on the track that it didn't like. So
Taylor Mitchell now coming through pit lane as well. So he had a 45-second lead, I believe, back to Jack Hintz. So Jack hasn't been through the pits yet either. So that's pretty handy for Taylor. Yeah. So he can take as much time as he needs right now for a pit stop, I reckon.
He has indeed. So we'll see how long his pit stop is. We see Thomas McColl stopping in the exact same pit bay. That's a hybrid of the two cars.
That's ridiculous.
It's a Porsche.
How much faster was that GT3 stop?
Yep. So Thomas McCall only taking 2 tyres. It was a 15-second stop, and Taylor Mitchell was 26 seconds. So Taylor coming out there in third, and the back margin now behind him to Grant in fourth, just over 4 seconds.
It looks like the top 6 drivers in the GT3 class have all come in at the same time, so it should be fairly busy down here at the moment.
Wow, that's
So who's going to come out of there first? They're all in a hurry, all for that exit at the same time.
So that's Matt Gerard actually jumping into the lead. Callan Hodgkinson there in P2 and Mackenzie Stewart into P3. So Matt Gerard with a cracker has managed to jump himself up into spot number 1. This will be awesome because Mackenzie Stewart and Callan now will be having a big battle, as you can see there. But that's a ripper.
So 16 seconds in the air for Matt Gerard, 21 seconds for Mackenzie Stewart, 18 seconds for Callan Hodgkinson, 22 for Nico Cordia, Christian Jenkins 17 seconds, and Dan Turner 17 seconds too. So those Team West boys, they changed them tyres pretty quick.
Well, so all those ones in the 16 and 17 second margin have only taken 2 tyres. So 20 minutes of racing left after having used those tyres for the last 30 minutes. Be really interesting to see how those tyres hold up, and look forward to hopefully some really interesting chats with the boys at the end of the race on how on what actually took place in their strategy.
Yeah, well, the GT3s are pretty easily you can double stint and even triple stint tyres in enduro racing. It's pretty good when you can come in and make up a few spots though. So good on Matthew Gerard. That's a good way to get to the lead of the race. Have your pit lane all down back really well. So that's pretty awesome.
Well, I'm going to bring this guy up into the broadcasting lounge quickly because I see his stop was 18 seconds. It looks like he might have taken on a wee bit more fuel, but we'll find out how many tyres he did take.
And a pit lane problem interview with Sean. What happened in the pits there? These 18 seconds.
I don't know. I had no idea.
How many tyres did you take, mate?
2.
There you go. That answers Doug's burning question.
So,
but I thought we had to take 2 tyres.
You did.
I thought that was the rule.
Well, no, we're just wondering why your car took 2 seconds longer over everyone else.
I have no idea. Auto fuel.
You're burning up the gas.
Yeah, I just used auto fuel. So normally it overgasses you by a lap, though, doesn't it? Auto fuel.
It probably does give you a bit of an extra a lap there. So that'll be interesting to see then for you how that pans out at the end versus the other guys, whether they have to start saving a little bit towards the end.
Have you got any data, Macca, on how much percentage of your tyres was left at that pit stop?
Nah, no clue. Mate, I don't even look at anything. What I'd like to say is what racing has been going on. I mean, if you didn't get excited about those first 5 or 6 laps, mate, I know nothing would. That didn't get you out of your chair there, Dougie boy. Jesus, it was fun.
I've got one of the most relaxing chairs, and I think my relaxing voice was indicative of it, but we were tuned in heavily to the really cool battles that was taking place between you, Nico, and Matt Gerard.
Yeah. So that was awesome stuff, mate.
Yeah. So
and then the throw into the works the old the hypercars coming around the corner as well.
Yep.
That sort of added to the battle as such. So no, I'm really enjoying it and try not to hit people, but I'm sure old right off in front of me parked it on the apex of a corner and I just ploughed straight into him.
I did see that we tap in the back, and I suppose
I did apologise. Yeah,
I know we heard it. We've got the race comms open this evening, so we've heard a wee bit of a wee bit of.
I apologise, but I'm going to go and
mindless
see
dribble.
how fast he was going. Yeah, I reckon he just parked it for some reason.
He was. I
but
think he was just trying to avoid the next car in front of him. But you did well. I mean, your alter ego could have come out. You know, Mr. Player.
Well, I was trying to shake that name for a while there, but now I'm just embracing it.
Yeah.
If you get it, there's a reason you get it. You're not fast enough to pull away.
What name are you talking about, Sean?
Mr. Player.
That's my name. That name again is Mr. Plow.
Segway.
There you go.
Yeah, so I didn't know how to do lefts or right tyres as well. That was an interesting guess.
Okay,
What
did
do
you
you
go
guys
for?
think I should have? No. What did you guys think I should? I asked the question.
I
'cause
would say at a glance that this track would be very heavy on lefts.
But there
Alright,
is a
and-
double back section in the middle, and it is
Yeah.
quite.
So what's your pick?
inside
What's your
heavy.
pick?
Well,
What have you done?
I would have gone for
Get
lefts.
all the commentators' opinion, mate. Let's get everyone's opinion.
I would have taken 4 tyres and 4 tank of gas.
Yeah.
Seeing as you're asking, I'm going to go for right because you wouldn't bring it up otherwise.
Alright, and lefts. So I did lefts. I don't know why I did lefts. I just picked lefts. I think I've got about 10 incident points too. So
Are you doing well?
how long have I got to survive?
One more, mate.
You've got 15 more minutes and 5 points before
easy.
a drive-through.
Easy.
A bit of an update on incident points. Would have got a few now in double digits. Thomas
Ooh.
McCall was on the brink of a drive-through. Keep it tidy, buddy. We've got a couple more drivers on 11 and a couple on 10.
Wow. Who's on 11?
We got 11. So we got Right-Off Jenkins and Jacob Lucas. So 1 GTP car and 1 GT3 car.
Okay, yep.
Oh, so if I give him one more tap, he will go through and I'll be on 14. Sorry. Was that laugh a little bit too excited? I wouldn't do that.
The word's vindictive.
You say I wouldn't do that, but yet we have evidential records of you doing
Me
that.
doing it. Yeah, but Balaki deserves it, man. The guy was blocking for like 20 laps.
Yeah.
Nah.
And
if
if Balaki's tuned in to the broadcasting lounge this evening while sitting at A&E with his missus, g'day mate. Hope she's starting to feel a bit better, or she's seen someone. Apparently she's got a bit of a migraine. So.
Oh well, living with him would give that to you.
Yes.
Or you know,
sure.
BMW probably did it.
Yeah, living with Blackie would definitely give me a migraine.
BMW dramas. That's it.
So there's been a bit of chit chat about the driving standards out there, only by 2 of them, which has been pretty good.
Yep. And was that in the because I didn't see the names come up, and of course obviously no one at home knew, but was that between GTP or GT3 or a mixture class?
Definitely GTPs, mate.
Yep.
They're breeds to their own.
Pretty hot headed.
Yeah. Telling each other how to drive, which is great, you know.
Of course.
Like we all know, we're all experts here. Because sim racing is actually more realistic than real racing.
It is.
Changing the subject, it looks like our last car's gone through the pits now, so Dan Turner just doing his run through pit lane to get himself either 2 tyres, 4 tyres, 1 tyre, and 2 tyres minimum, and maybe some fuel. And everybody's going to be circulated through the pits, which is good. So that means you don't have to punish everybody.
Well, that's interesting, because I already had data on Dan Turner at 17 seconds in the pits.
So he's come through again. Oh, he has too. This is pit number 2.
Is that for incidents?
And dropped at 13 seconds. So I reckon that he's had a bit of an issue and not got enough gas on board to be able to get through to the end of the race.
Well, we did have a turnaround, or should I say a Dan Turner, in that last turn when we were watching Sean before. So he could have picked up a bit of damage from there as well.
Okay, yep. So potentially just suffering a wee bit and needing to get a fast repair. Here's Thomas McCall here doing a drive-through.
Yes, it is. Yes, he's currently on a black flag for 15 incident points, son. So through the pits, here you go. On the brink, though, now we've got Right-Off Jenkins, he's on 14, and Jacob Lucas now on 13. So they're another 2 to keep an eye on.
And right off there, just in front of Jacob Lucas. So I think they both could have nearly ended up with a drive-through there. Jacob doing his best to indicate, hey, I'm coming up on you pretty quick, and right off just going, yep, and I'm still turning in here at the apex. Make your way around me.
Yeah, that's, to be honest, I thought there would have been more incidents. This track is crazy with blind corners, all sorts going on, and I think the hypercars have actually been very cautious.
Yep.
And holding and just waiting for the right time, because some of these corners you are grip limited. You have to go there, and I think they realise that. So that's been really nice to see. I like people how they flash their lights. It's like, that's not going to change my mind. I don't think they know me very well, Doug.
Thought you said you're trying to shake that name.
Oh, now the other one is I don't care what's behind me.
Yeah.
It's only what's in front of me.
If you're flashing a light at Sean, there's a very high likelihood that he's just not even seen it, because Sean doesn't use his mirrors.
No. I got to hear your car. Oh, as I've gone wide. I got to hear your car
heard that.
before I notice you're there.
Mm-hmm.
And just a reminder on the old policy, universally accepted. GTPs are meant to get out of the way, and then GT3s are just meant to stick to their line, past the cars roll to pass.
Yeah. So
great racing knowledge, thank you.
That wee blue that you just had as you lost the rear and ran wides opened up a bit of a sniff of an opportunity for Nathan Gardner behind you. He's closing you down to about 1.7 of a second there now. So we'll leave you to it there, Sean. We'll stop bothering you as much.
Mate. All good. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed the chat.
Enjoy your last 10 minutes of racing here at the brand new track.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
So yeah, folks, that was the one and only Sean McNamara with his fine words and great manners.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard people say really, really horrible things about him, but I reckon he's just probably one of the nicest guys I've ever spoken to. I can't say I've met. I can't say met. I've never met him.
Oh, I've met him.
My opinion may change if I meet him.
I went to his house and his wife gave me chips and dip. Barb, thanks, Barb.
Very good. Very good. Let's see, Jacob Lucas there going by Mackenzie Stewart, and that brings up lap 28 with just a touch over 8 minutes of racing to go. Taylor Mitchell, star of the night. He's obviously been really enjoying getting out there and cutting those real life laps recently, and it's translated over to the sim racing world, or the sim world's racing is translated over to the real world, because 27.7 second margin over P2 is a blinder in my opinion.
Yeah, Jacob Lucas is doing his best to keep up, but he's got a fairly decent gap back to Michael Vanderhaas as well. There's really nobody on track really very close at the moment doing any racing. Everybody's sort of out there all by themselves.
Yep.
It looks like 7th and 8th are reasonably close, but that's about it.
Oh, and I see Nathan Gardner in getting a pit stop there again. Another one doing another 13-second stop and hold. So either potentially not happy with the tyres or just not have enough fuel on board to push on through to the end. So really still interested to see here Matt Gerard, obviously one of the first ones we saw come through with a quicker pit stop, 16 seconds. He's still got a 3-second margin over Nico, but yeah, just opting to take 2 tyres, jumped him up a number of positions there originally. But Nico's been able to find him out there on track again, so it'll be interesting to see if having taken that extra 6 seconds of stoppage time of tyres is enough to circulate Nico onto his rear end, now down to 3 seconds, and if it can be capitalised into another position before the end. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Interested to see who that might have been. I wonder if that was.
Yeah, if he didn't turn down, it probably wouldn't be.
Wonder who the drivers are talking about.
I didn't turn down in front of me. I was on the outside, mate. I don't know how I could have turned in front of you.
Sean, just showing the nose coming into the braking point. Also, his wipers just come on. A bit of wet spray coming up off the back of Christian's car. Has Cheryl got something to let us know?
Yeah, I've just had an urgent message through from Cheryl. She's saying that there is a little bit of light rain over the top half of the track currently at the moment, and it is spreading over, and it is probably going to cover the track before the end of the race, and it's going to start to get heavier.
Well, so 5 minutes before the end, and we've got rain falling, and I can just see in the mirror there of Sean's car, Jack Hunt's moving on by.
So that pit stop, it might have been, was it Nathan Gardner last lap? Do you reckon that
Yeah.
was a strategic gamble?
Maybe saw
Going a bit early.
the wet weather coming through. We'll see what.
I don't know if 13 seconds is quick enough to put 4 wet tyres on, though, is it?
Yeah, that's a point.
Might be if they're not taking gas, but I'm pretty sure 4 tyres was around 22 seconds. So, and I don't think you can mix and match.
It will be an interesting one strategy-wise. If I was someone like Taylor Mitchell, definitely be coming in, playing it safe, but it might not be too much slower at this point.
Correct, and we can just see how much Christian Jenkins here is feathering it around through those tighter corners. A bit of a faster sweeping corner here as he got enough to keep the traction on. No real amounts of understeer, oversteer. Looks like Michael might be taking the gamble, coming in to pit lane here.
Only about 3 laps left, so I would probably be gambling and staying out. But
Just been down, went down into the pit lane there, and was talking to Nathan Gardner's pit crew, and it was an error actually with their setup at the start, and he's been running around on a quali set. So he was just getting a bit more fuel.
Nice. Well, thanks for doing that, Corey. That was that's really cool bit of information to hear, and obviously gives us an understanding of what took place. So there's Michael van der Haas leaving now after 23 seconds there in the pits. So he's definitely opted for the wet tyre balance. You can see how much spray is coming off the rear of that car.
Yeah, so Cheryl was sort of her she's saying that the track is very lightly wet, so it's not too bad. It is actually getting a little bit thicker out there now, so the track is now fully covered by the rain clouds.
Yep.
Just a bit of a replay here of Kellen Hodgkinson.
Just grabbing that painted line a little bit there. Probably just a little bit damper and trying to brake on it. It's caused the car to rotate out, but doesn't look like he's lost any positions to that. We've got Jason Bigby here showing some crash data. Oh, and looked like the other car in behind him, which might have been Wayne Hartnell, also battling.
At this point, 1 time, so I'm in the fucking bin.
So how's this for a late minute race battle? We've got Sean McNamara
Wide
right off Jenkins, and our sponsor for the week, Racecrafts, Chris Zalewski. Looks like everyone's deciding to just muscle it out for the last couple of minutes, going 2 to it around. You wanted to know what it did to lap times?
Yeah, it's not wet. Fucking going into wet.
Taylor Mitchell last lap, a 1 minute 59 versus his fast laps of 1:31.
Yeah, Jacob Lucas in the pit lane now, so wondering whether he's going to put wet tyres on. Don't think that's going to help him with a little under 2 minutes to go.
I reckon he's just got that incident point drive-through?
Oh, it will be that, yes. You are 100% right, my friend. And also right off Jenkins and Daniel Turner, both over the limit now as well. Nathan Gardner is on a black flag as well. Not sure what that one's for.
And I just saw Taylor Mitchell barely getting away with going through, crashed out of going through the roof at the moment. Wayne Hartnell, Chris Zalewski, Grant Bristow. 1 minute of torture remains. So Jacob Lucas there after his drive through. It still leaves a minute gap there to Jack Hintz. Actually, that time coming down quite dramatically. Jack looked like he may have even stopped. I've got a 33-second pit stop for him. Left the pits on lap 20. No, so just managing to circulate very, very well under the conditions. Scott McKenzie, look at oh gosh, look how much.
And we've got white flag.
Yeah, so that's Taylor Mitchell bringing that across the line.
Cars off everywhere.
Dan Turner. This will make people think probably a lot in the future about what to gamble with when the wet weather comes through, whether it's worthwhile grabbing a set of tyres with 5 minutes of racing to go.
Wayne Hartnell, Jason Bigby, Aidan Lamont, all with black flags now that haven't been served as well. So they've all just come up now.
Wow.
So it's a bit hard when you're on the last lap and that happens. But yeah, right off Jenkins yet to serve his as well.
The lads are probably. Oh my gosh. The lads are probably going to be absolutely cursing me for
You didn't hold your brakes for a reason, didn't you, buddy?
for the way the race has been set up, but I'd say this has played out quite well as far as real world racing kind of weather system goes. Certainly keeps things interesting for the streamers.
Very close.
Sorry, dude.
Plenty.
And where are we going to be racing next week in both V8s and GT3 and hypercars?
Yep. So we have the GT3 hypercars next week are heading to Imola, which is
And that's for an enduro,
which is one of my favourite tracks, and it's our second of 4 endurance races for the series. So that'll be an hour 15 of that.
It's a double endurance next week. So the V8s are racing at Phillip Island, and
correct.
That is an enduro. So the first of the MRX Enduro Cup.
It is.
You've got Winton, Okayama, for Wednesday for the Pro Masters and Legends as well. So
yep.
Imola though, oh, what a track! Absolute favourite of mine.
Agreed. Yep. So a few mix and match
what do you want about?
checkered flags coming up. And
the first one to get back to pit in 1 piece.
Nice chatter from the boys. So obviously a few cars who have already been passed by the leader of the field, depending on where they cross the line, determines when their checkered flag comes up. So Mackenzie with absolute no stress of losing it, and here Mackenzie looking at where he's trying to position his car around the track over where the wet line is, and you can see the big puddles on track and how slick it is on the racing line. Just trying to keep away from where the rain is moving around. I'm I'm desperate to ask him if he found if it was drier out there in the sand or not, but I think I'll just let him finish the race.
Make sure he doesn't get another chat ban from iRacing.
So what that
Oh,
did
that's-
for tonight was Taylor Mitchell's come across the line in P1 for the GTPs. Jacob Lucas finished in P2. Jack Hunt's just going across the finish line there in spot number 3. Great drive from him. Mackenzie Stewart just still one of the last cars, even though he's leading the race, to make his way around the last couple of corners. And he will take spot number 1. Matt Gerard has already taken the spot number 2, and Sean McNamara, first time on track tonight, just purchased it and managed to take spot number 3. Nico Cordia, I believe, picking up a late race black flag for incident points, and probably had to serve that before finishing.
It looks like we've got all 3 podiums from the GTP sitting there, ready to have a yarn. Shall we pull in first place?
From the GT3s?
GTP.
Oh, yes, sorry, sitting there. Yep, we'll start with Taylor Mitchell.
All right, incoming.
So,
Taylor.
Winner tonight. First win for the series after having some very interesting racing the last couple of weeks. I don't think many people thought that rain was going to hit the track just before the end. Interesting dynamic, but well done. You still cleared the field there by just over 38 seconds.
Yeah, thank you. Finally finished the race with a wing.
Yes, indeed. Did that help you with all that amounts of downforce during that last 5 minutes of racing?
Yes, very much, very much.
So, challenging, obviously, but you decided to stick with it on the dry set. Were you thinking towards the end, I've made a bit of a boo boo, or were you okay-ish?
I had one spin. I regathered it up, but I would have lost. I would have lost time putting 4 tires on, so I just cruised along.
Yep.
Just tiptoeing.
Yeah,
for the
so
final lap.
your lap time sort of dropped 45 seconds a lap, but you still managed to finish with over a minute gap there back to Jacob. So yeah, good congratulations on that, mate. You had a good race.
Yeah,
Thank you.
done. Well done on the one, mate.
Cheers.
You want to shout out to Dad or anything?
Yeah. Thanks to Dad for the epic sim rig. You should buy one, and then you can win races like this. Roads, Jump Flex, Blockchain Karting, and Mackendo Construction. Thank you.
Awesome. Cheers, Taylor.
Thank you.
And second place is Jacob Lucas. Well done, mate. On the podium for round 3.
Yeah, that wasn't really a good race. It started off in qualifying because it started raining. I didn't have a wet setup or anything to use, so I had to leave, and then my computer crashed. So I only got 1 lap in at the end, and then had a few dramas, and there got a bit of damage, so that wasn't too good. But anyway.
So you were during the first stint of your race before coming into pit lane, you were running around with a slightly damaged car. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, after that contact with Stefan at the start.
Right. Yep. Oh, so, well, you've done a mighty fine job anyway to bring the car around the track and then through to be obviously take that quick repair and throw on a fresh set of tyres. You opted to go for all 4?
Yep, yeah, I did. I tried to pit a lap earlier and then I had a moment on cold tyres, so the undercut didn't work at all.
Yep. Yeah, we were just on board with you after you came out of the pits and had a bit of a moment there around turn 3, I think it was.
Yeah. Yep. It's just cold tyres on the throttle too hard, and yeah, it's loose here on warm tyres, so
Yep.
even cold tyres is even worse.
Yeah, we'd wondered whether or not there might have just been some leftover residue of water, because it just seemed to really kick out quite dramatically. But it's obviously just the power of the car.
Yeah, it's a good car, this one.
Yep.
But
So
yeah,
enjoying the GTP series so far. That's obviously your first P2, obviously taking 2 P1s the previous weeks.
yeah, I quite enjoy driving this car. It's got lots of grunt, and here it works quite well with all the high-speed corners. It
Yep.
struggles a bit in the slow speed, but overall it's a real good car.
Nice stuff. Well, thank you very much, Jacob, on your report from the race, and look forward to catching you next week as we head off to Imola for our second endurance race of the series.
Thank you.
And now moving
And
on to our third place getter and second podium for his appearance in the series, Jack Hintz. Welcome.
G'day.
How did you find tonight?
Interesting. I was
In one word only, Jack. Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
No, it was quite good.
You seem to be pretty well in control of the car through the early stages of the race, picking up a few spots under some other people having some moments and going off the track. How did you find the rest of the middle section of the race, and then obviously towards the later end when the rain came back through?
Yeah, it was all good. It was a huge gamble at the end, because I was thinking, if the rain's going to start about 10 minutes from the end, I'll switch onto the wets, but that came and went, and then it started about 5 minutes. I'm like, I'll just try and risk it.
Mm-hmm.
But turned out it paid off.
So, and quite a few people risking it as well. There was you would have obviously seen a number of cars at different angles to what the normal racing line was through the last couple of minutes as they were falling off on the corners.
Oh, for sure. It was just a matter of survival, really.
Yep. Awesome stuff. Well, congratulations on your second podium of the series so far. We head off to Imola next week for our second endurance race of the series. How do you find that track?
I quite like Imola. I'm probably used to driving it in Formula One cars usually, but I guess it won't be that much different. It's just got a roof on it.
Yep.
Is there anything that you're expecting from the weather in Imola and Italy next week?
Oh, I'm just happy as with whatever. If anything, I'm probably slower in the dry.
Oh, there
It
we go.
might be sunny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I go into each race not expecting much, so it's a nice bonus at the end.
Yeah, well, especially when you know who's setting up the races, eh? So
No,
thanks,
nice work, Jack.
Thank you, iRacing, for the new weather element.
Thank you. Oh, it's been a long time coming, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, that is very cool. Yes, cheers, Jack. We will move on. We've got a couple of guys from the GT3 series waiting to let us know how their race went. So thank you again, and we'll catch you next week.
Thanks very much.
Cheers, Jack.
So we don't have our P1 finisher of the GT3 series, but we do have the first loser. That's Matt Gerard, and he joins us in the broadcasting lounge. How are we, Matt?
Yeah, good, mate. Well, actually, I've been informed that I did win. That I did come take first.
Um,
Going by the podiums.
Okay.
I took second. Oh, Mr. Plough got. I took first. Mr. Plough second, and Mackenzie third.
He must have
might have been a pre-race
a late race penalty there. Did he get a 40-second blue or something for crossing the line with a black flag? Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. I really don't know. I mean, I thought I'd come second as well.
Yeah, the information we've got here
Bang, mate.
is P2 all rounds, but the iRacing result is the result, and that wouldn't have picked that up after going across the line. So here we go. As we join our race winner Matt Gerard, Velocity Sim Labs.
Oh, love it. No, it was a good race, eh? Mackenzie, he is quick, isn't he?
Yeah.
Once I managed to get past the boys. I think it was Mackenzie and maybe Callan in the pits. Got P1 there, but once Mackenzie started catching me and passed, he was gone, eh? So,
yeah, he didn't really have. He only had Callan to round up and get by, and he did that very quickly. I was hoping there might have been a bit more battle go on between them to allow you a bit more margin, but the way it looked like it panned out, it wouldn't have done. It wouldn't have lasted for much longer than the couple of laps he was held up for, if that had been the case.
Exactly.
But you took on an interesting strategy. You were pretty much one of the first ones that we noted coming through the pits that had gone for the 2 tyre option coming out of the pits at 16 seconds.
Yep.
Which tyres did you change?
Originally, I was going to do the rears, and then I thought, I noticed that the lefts were, the faster, high-speed corners were all left-handers.
Yep.
And I figured rather than washing out wide, I'll take both lefts, and at least that'll keep things a little bit even with the way the car handles. And I'd like to say it paid off a little bit.
Yep.
But yeah, I just stuck to it, and that rain caught us out big time at the end there.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I am slightly sadistic when it comes to these things, and I was thoroughly enjoying watching Struggle Street kick in once that rain started falling. But overall, the balance of the car before the rain came through worked out well for you doing the 2 tyres, you find?
Yeah, I think it did. Look, just for the pace of the pit stop, it did. Because obviously I jumped first and second place by doing that.
Yes.
Overall pace, maybe taking 4 tyres if that's what Mackenzie and Callan did.
Yep.
In the long term, that would have been faster.
Yep.
But for the pit side of things, definitely was the quicker way to go.
And obviously, there was a sort of a bit of a moment there. Looked like Nico, who had taken 4 tyres, was slowly closing you in, but then looked like he had a race penalty, and that caused him to slow up or something.
Yeah, that's right. He was. I think he was probably half a second a lap faster than I was. And when he did get past me, you could see the way he pulled out of the corners was better than I could. He was. The 4 tyres definitely helped those boys big time. But hey, I'll take it. The rain at the end there equalised everyone, didn't it?
It sure did. It was a humbling experience for all.
It was. I don't think anyone realised that it was going to come on so heavy and so quick. I figured, we'll finish the race on dries, no problem. But it just got heavier and heavier, and it was down to first gear most corners.
And likewise as well. So, well, thank you, Matt. A great bit of a rundown on how your race has gone. We'll quickly check in with Sean McNamara.
No worries.
And our second loser of the evening, or maybe that iRacing is going to adjust those for us, as it works out to be first loser of the evening, Sean McAtap, Mr. Plough, Namara.
Yeah, suck on that, Blake. Look at me, P2. I know he's had a win.
But he can't say that he's had the win at the brand new iRacing track because he wasn't there to do it. And you bought it tonight. You've lapped it tonight. You qualified well.
Not about his wife being sick and stuff, so I apologise to Blake. But yeah, suck it.
Great result.
I heard them. Yeah, well, just sticking it, man. That weather, you guys are dicks, man. That was shocking. My last lap was like a 2-minute 31.
Why do you blame me?
Because you load it, or was it Ben? Ben loads them, eh? Which one are you?
I've not evidence.
That's all right, Ben. It's all right, mate.
It's an iRacing model. It's a live weather data. Yes,
did no one come into the pits? Did not one car go onto the wets?
I believe there may have been a couple did. I'm
There were-
thinking
there are a
from
few.
the GTPs, I think Michael Vanderhaas did.
Yep. Yep.
And it looks like
Jack
that
was talking about it. Yeah.
benefited him to stay in, clear of the Grant and Scott dramas that were happening behind. And as far as potentially anyone else through the GT3 field, I would happen to guess that the likes of potentially Ryan Cottrell took them, or Aidan Lamont through to Dan Kroszelewski. They were a wee bit down the order, but the last ones with 22 odd second stoppage times there.
So you do know Nico got a black flag on the last corner.
We didn't know that.
I heard him go, I got a black flag on the last corner. And I was sitting there going, sweet. And then I almost lost it and got a black flag. I had 2 points left.
Nico Cordia went off on lap 28. And here is the replay.
Yeah, so we've got quite a few drivers that have had a post-race penalty applied. So one of them being Mackenzie Stewart, who finished the race in first, but 35-second penalty, which put him back to third.
Yep.
Stefan McCartan, Scott McKenzie, Wayne Hartnell, Aidan Lamont, Nico Cordia, Jason Bigby, Kellen Hodgkinson, all suffering the same fate.
Penalty.
Wayne Hartnell with 50 seconds. So that's unfortunate.
Oh, that's loud.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, well, that isn't unfortunate. So, hey, pays to be clean, eh? Pays to be a bit clean, like old Mr. Plough.
Yep.
Clean racer tonight.
Yes, no, just talking with Matt Gerard there, obviously, and we were in the same position. That forecasted rain was really not supposed to hit the track until after the checkered flag, so the fact that it rolled through a little bit sooner certainly did shake things up at the end, and it's obviously given quite a few drivers a large awareness of just how quickly a 5-minute thought of, oh yeah, I'll just get through to the end.
Yes, it was 5 minutes too. I looked at it, it was like 5 minutes 20. You were correct. I was like,
versus what if maybe the racing could have been as if everyone had committed to coming into the pits to grab some wet tyres, what that may have done instead.
Well, I can't wait to see the stream. Did it just look average as everyone just crawling around the track? Because that's what it felt like. It felt like I was in first gear most corners, man. It was ugly.
You would be correct. I mean, we did look at the comparative time. So if we consider the best lap time by Taylor Mitchell in the GTPs was a 1:31.6, and his last lap was a 2:15.5.
So it's 30-something seconds, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we were about 30 seconds as well. I did a 2:30 and 50s, 150. So yeah, it was probably 40 seconds.
Yeah. So if I look at your best lap time, which was not too far off what P1 was doing, so you're a high 45, Matt Gerard mid 45. Your guys' previous laps were that last laps were a 2:31 and a 2:37. So yeah, pretty much bang on again. Pretty much similar. All cars were sucking an egg and taking 45-second lap time loss.
So next time, do you think everyone's diving to the pits? I guarantee you, if there's more, I think there has to be more than 3 laps when you come out in the wet. So as long as you got 3 wet laps, it's probably beneficial to come to the pits. If you don't, if it's only 2, but if it's only 3 laps, you're probably still better off staying out. How long is pit lane, you think? Like this track, I know every track's different, but it's still 40 seconds, isn't it? In and out. You would say, pit lane? If you'd go and get just tyres, you'd have to put 4 wets on.
Say.
How long would 4 wets? No fuel, obviously.
No, it's not going to. There we go, pit lane time. So if we look at yourself, your stoppage of 18 seconds, your total transfer time was 53 seconds.
There you go. So, and that's only 2 tyres.
Yep. And so the other guys were on pretty much on the minute mark.
So it's a minute. So I honestly think you could have done 3 laps going around, crawling around is still quicker than going in and getting wet.
It would be versus the time loss from going in to do that.
So it's just good to know. It's just how long. If you've got 5 minutes to go, you'd be still better off worse state. Unless you got those obviously those guys that got the penalties would say, well, no, I should have got wet.
Well, I mean, hey, you look at Mackenzie Stewart. If he hadn't lost it on the last corner and then not had the option of getting into pit lane, he wouldn't have picked up the point penalty, black flag, and dropping two positions when he was clear of the field. Clear of you guys by at least 30 seconds. So if he'd come in while he had that margin for the tyres, may have done enough for those penalty points not to have crept through. I mean, even like we'll look at how other drivers were falling off the track. There were so many lucky close calls from the GTPs as they were coming through slowly, but GT3 cars falling off left, right, and centre around them, could have ended in catastrophe.
Yeah, 100%. But no, so onwards and upwards. I was actually going to give it up tonight and just help out in the race control side of things, but obviously glad I did the race.
There you go. So next week the HPR series, the GT3 and GTP cars are heading off for their second endurance race of the series at Imola.
Yes, I heard it was Imola. Great track, love it. Can't wait.
It is a
cheers MRP.
It is a really cool track, and tuning in, it's actually double enduros next week, as Corey pointed out, because it's our first round of the MRX Enduro Cup for the V8s at Phillip Island.
Yes, and I thought I'd just quickly tell everyone it's starting 15 minutes earlier. The race will start 15 minutes earlier, so Shane Whitey can get to bed on time. So that's what will be happening. Everything else, so just look into that, guys. Keep a lookout.
So you're going to start that race 15 minutes earlier for the Div 2 guys, but we don't have to worry about that because
there's no Div 2. There's no Div 2.
Oh, it's
the MRX Endurance Series is everyone together.
Nice.
So that's a bit different, isn't it? So as well as you're fast, you actually got to be careful, and people have to follow blue flags, and probably I'll have to put a post up about that. So no, it's both divs together in the endurance series.
Well, we look forward to that because that's going to have obviously live race control. There's the potential of an MRX safety car if things go awry.
I think we've got one
coming out.
Yep, definitely. And it's an hour and a half too, so make sure everyone has their toilet stop before the race. So
no one told me about that.
Hour and a half. Might have to whip off to the doctor's clinic beforehand and get them to sort me out with a catheter.
I was like, what are you getting from the doctors? Whoa. But let's wrap this up. I'll leave you guys to it. Thank you very much. And cheers for your stream. I can't wait to watch it back soon.
Awesome stuff. Cheers, Sean.
Cool. I'll leave you guys to it. Cheers. Cheers, Pete.
Well, there we go. So that's all of it for this evening. The MRP HPR series round 3 done and dusted at new track Portamio or Algarve, and big thanks to our major season sponsor MRP for hooking us up with the dosh to be able to give back to our cool guys at the end of the series with the cash prizes. iRacing for giving us the mighty fine platform that we are racing on, and for the new weather element, which you can still see raining on screen. It's good to see all those fans in the stands listening to us. And a big thanks to racecraft.co.nz. Please go and check them out for some sim racing needs of yours, from button boxes and a few other odd additionals that you may have from gearbox gear changing extenders and levers and shorteners and all the other things that we saw Chris Zalewski using at the start of the night, push to pass buttons, getting that extra 102 kilometres an hour down the straightaways. So we appreciate you, Chris, and thank you for your Race Week sponsor. Ben, it's been a pleasure joining us here in the broadcasting lounge. Sorry that we couldn't commentate on your super cool racing this evening, pal, but hopefully you'll be out there shortly racing the VF Commodore with your new livery.
Yeah, thanks to OK Motorsports Racing Graphics. Great livery there. And
Brett's done a good one on that. Yep. So we're looking forward to see you out there and pointing out all your mistakes.
I'll be in Piston Cup, but I'm not sure about Div 2 even. We'll have a look. without spinning.
Give it a yeah. Well, hey, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Very goodly. And Corey Kitchen, once again, thank you for joining me this evening in the broadcasting lounge. I know it's not our usual Tuesday night dealio. We've gone and stolen Shane's thunder and taken over the HPR night.
Best Thursday stream of the year, I reckon.
I vote so too. Thanks to the tuners and viewers at home. Stick with us. We'll be doing some more giveaways coming up in the future. And that'll be thanks to Napa, who looks after the broadcasting lounge. So stay tuned for next week. There may be a few extra giveaways happening. From Dougie here, good night.
Love you, Mum.